understand. I really don't understand. Y'all coming for 6ix9ine. I don't know what they gonna say. 6ix9ine got into it with him, put a hit on the life insurance. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna say. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying, whatever the situation is foul, man. It's foul.
King Harris, only 21 years old and the son of Atlanta icons T and Tiny Harris, is fighting for his life tonight. What happened inside that Georgia facility is not being described as an ordinary prison altercation. It was a calculated near-fatal ambush. Medical documents confirm that his skull was fractured by what doctors call a lock-in sock, a padlock tied inside cloth and swung with force.
The surface.
We've learned that multiple bones in his face were shattered, and that when officers arrived, he was already unconscious on the floor. The most disturbing detail comes straight from internal reports. Every security camera covering that cell block had gone dark minutes before the attack began. No footage, no witnesses, only silence.
Now, police also told us an autopsy was planned for Sunday night, and they were hoping to release more information at some point this morning or later today. So we're just waiting on that. As soon as it happens, we'll be sure.
We can see why this incident immediately triggered suspicion. King was not a hardened inmate. He was serving short time following a September 2024 arrest for driving under the influence and failing to appear in court. His case had been minor, almost routine, until it turned into a scene of violence that looked deliberate. What makes the situation more chilling is the timing. Just weeks earlier, he had welcomed his first son, celebrated publicly by his parents and documented in the family's posts. Within days of that joy, he was lying in a hospital bed under constant monitoring. The contrast between a proud new father and a barely breathing young man could not be sharper. We confirmed through county records that King's incarceration began quietly without media attention, but sources inside the facility now say he had been talking too much about what he was seeing behind the walls. They describe him as outspoken, claiming guards were involved in smuggling contraband and turning a blind eye to internal extortion. One source familiar with his case alleges he had planned to contact his lawyer about filing a complaint. Whether that information reached the wrong ears is now the question that has investigators divided. Was this a message to silence him or a warning meant for someone else entirely?
We're still trying to gather a lot of facts from her recent activity leading up to this point. So relatively soon after we discovered the vehicle, that the crime took place a short time before.
The timing couldn't be worse for the Harris family. T and Tiny are already navigating renewed attention from their own ongoing legal fights. Earlier this year, their defamation standoff with influencer Sabrina Peterson returned to headlines after Peterson attempted to revive her 2021 lawsuit, accusing them of misconduct and reputational harm. The court dismissed her appeal, but not before she resurfaced older claims linking the family to alleged trafficking and coercive behavior, claims they have repeatedly denied. Peterson vowed to release what she called receipts, and her posts reignited online debates about the couple's past. When King's attack occurred, social networks immediately tied the two timelines together, suggesting the violence might be connected to those wider controversies. There's no evidence of that yet, but the speculation is growing louder. Meanwhile, the prison's explanation for the missing footage only deepened mistrust. Officials insist the cameras malfunctioned due to a power relay error, but former corrections staff told us a complete blackout affecting every unit simultaneously is almost impossible unless manually triggered. The coincidence is hard to ignore. The malfunction began 6 minutes before the attack and ended 5 minutes after emergency medics arrived in a facility where every corridor is supposed to be monitored. Such a gap feels almost engineered. Even state investigators privately admit the failure raises serious procedural questions.
So a couple days ago, man, 6ix9ine girlfriend was sitting in the car. This is like crazy, man.
As for the weapon, the medical report removes any doubt that this was premeditated. A lock-and-sock isn't an improvised reaction. It's something crafted in advance, hidden, and swung with lethal precision. That detail has become the cornerstone for those claiming this was a planned hit. Several inmates reportedly heard an argument earlier that day, but none have come forward officially. One insider told us they are too scared to speak, saying people vanish for less. The same insider alleges that certain guards were moved to different posts immediately after the incident, which they interpret as a quiet internal shakeup. We can't overlook how public sympathy for King has exploded. Outside the hospital, fans have been gathering with candles, chanting his name, demanding answers. Tia's made only brief comments, telling reporters that he wants truth more than vengeance. 6ix9ine, visibly shaken, posted a message asking supporters to keep praying. Behind those calm statements, though, insiders describe a family boiling with fear and suspicion. Some close to them believe King's assault could be retaliation for stories he shared about internal corruption. Others whisper that the attack might have been orchestrated to send a message to his father, who has his own history of powerful enemies in both the entertainment and legal arenas.
Y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy. That's really crazy, man.
We've also learned that in the weeks leading up to his arrest, King had been trying to rebuild his image. On August 21st, 2024, he appeared on Regina Carter's podcast, declaring he wanted to be bigger than Michael Jackson. He talked about fatherhood, music, and redemption. His words now sound almost haunting. A young man planning for the future, unaware how close that future was to collapsing. Less than a month later, police in Dunwoody detained him on an old warrant. He was transferred to Pickens County, and that's where everything changed. The connection between King's growing confidence and his sudden downfall has become central to the conspiracy theories spreading across Atlanta. Some people close to the investigation believe he was being protected by certain officers until he started talking about what he'd seen. Others argue the attack came from inmates loyal to outside groups who viewed King as leverage, pressure on his father during a volatile legal period. No one can prove any of this yet, but each unanswered question makes the story darker.
Right, Lisa, the woman was found inside the car here along the Cross County Parkway just before exit 7, which is Broad Street. That's just where we are. So Westchester County Police still has, they started getting phone calls Sunday morning around 8 o'clock about a disabled car that was on this side of the parkway. Officers arrived to find a woman behind the wheel